Chapter 2. Finding Flynn. Now in the past, many have said that, Danny, you're hearing things. Well, sometimes they may be right. But I know, for that brief second, I heard the words from Oh Holy Night on that radio. Also, I know that the word stars glowed on that piece of paper. Something was either not right, or something was just really weird. Anyway, the snow had changed slightly from constant downpour to a gentle sprinkle. Of course, you never would know the change had happened, judging from the amount of snow on the ground. However, I was happy that the snow had lightened up, because I had invited my friends to join our family in going to the Main Street tree lighting, after our Merry Movie Marathon, of course. A simple, yet nice event, the tree lighting. We made our way through what seemed to be the frozen tundra from the car to the back door. When we got inside, all three of my friends' mouths dropped to the floor. You know, I do the same reaction every year, and it still amazes me. Your dad is right when he says it does look like Santa threw up in your house. In fact, my dad was still helping to put up some of the decorations. You see, he is a light master, and when it comes to putting up lights, either outside or inside, he's the one to call. We put our stuff away, and we helped my mother bring up what appeared to be like 50 more boxes of decorations before we started watching. Now, remember, I am a senior in high school, but when it does come to Christmas, again, we all act half our age. Oh, sure, we helped put stuff up, but we could also just go through those boxes like nobody's business. Between the decorations and music that we flipped on the radio, fun was to be had. After a couple tubs of stuff, I came across a box full of manger scenes. We have a lot of nativity scenes. I started to unpack them, and then I came across one. It had the normal cast of characters, Mary, Joseph, Jesus, you know. It also had an angel on top. However, something was not quite right about this one. I looked closer at the scene and saw that the painted night sky in the background was glowing. I looked even closer and saw that the classic banner that old Gabe was holding was not quite right. Don't worry, we're cool. I can deal with this. Just then, the radio changed and interrupted the song it was playing and instead played this. It happened again. I raised my head and ran over to Michael, who was on the other side of the room, untangling a stocking rope. Michael, look at this. Notice something about this nativity? Well, I've never seen an angel with the banner reading, "Away in a Manger." Usually it says, "Gloria in excelsis Deo." That's when I realized something. The banner and what I just heard on that radio here were the same. It really did happen again. Now with these words. Listen to me. Look at the words on the banner and then at the background. The stars. They're glowing just like that word I wrote down. Do you hear me? Danny, I think you're losing it. To be fair, that's impossible. Many have said that I have lost it a long time ago. I then looked at the scene again. The stars had stopped brightly shining. See what I did there? Instead, the word manger glowed. Manger? What about the manger? I then thought, this nativity scene does light up and plays the song on the banner. I turned it over and opened up the battery compartment, but it was empty. Could each song have a clue that led to another? The first verse mentions shining stars, leading to a night sky of shining stars. The second verse then mentioned manger. This manger scene somehow involved the word manger. So something having to do with this? Insert Mr. Spock saying fascinating.
It's fascinating.
Hey Danny and Michael, we're ready for the Christmas movies. Do you want to watch them or not? Yes, we're coming. I put down the manger scene and the two of us went into the den and started our films. After we finished, or at least got to the halfway point, Amy's dad came and picked her up. Nicholas said that he needed to start getting ready for their big get-together. That was okay. Michael and I needed to get ready for the tree lighting. Hey you two, your dad and I are waiting in the car for you. Do you want to be late for the tree lighting? Michael and I then looked at each other and ran to get our winter gear on, which by the way adds about 10 minutes because of where we live. Luckily we made it out in time and we were on our way. Michael, Nicholas and Amy did have to leave early, and they said that they needed to get ready. But they have not officially left for Amy's family yet, have they? No, I don't think so. Good, because I want them to meet us at the tree lighting. But you just saw Amy get picked up and Nicholas had to leave early. They obviously couldn't come. I know, but I need them to come. I got out my phone and texted Nicholas and Amy. They both responded that they would come. reluctantly. We arrived just in time for the lighting. Everyone was waiting for the tree to light up the night, except everyone was shaking like it was an Elvis impersonator contest because of the cold. The final countdown started, and when the announcer reached 1, the tree lit up with all those old-fashioned light bulbs I talked about, as well as a giant creche scene right next to it. It then hit me. Manger! The creche! The manger scene! Maybe there was another clue that was going on either in or around the manger scene. Michael and I are going to go find Nicholas and Amy. They should be here by now. We'll be back. My parents waved, and I grabbed Michael by the arm, and we made our way through the crowd and finally bumped into my 2 other friends. Guys, I'm so glad you made it. How's it going? I asked. Daniel James Wilcox, Amy said sternly. Uh-oh. Full first name and middle name. Why did you grab us out here? We were going to be coming later, possibly. But I was getting ready, and also Nicholas was getting ready for our big get-together. And, not to mention, we were in the middle of wrapping presents. Which, by the way, now, you may not get one. Never mind that, I said. What am I saying? No presents? Isn't that what Christmas is all about? I now interrupt this Danny Wilcox adventure to insert this special correction bulletin.
And this shall be a sign unto you. You shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God, and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown.
Thank you, Linus Van Pelt. There, happy? Guys, I know this might sound crazy, and you're probably thinking, what else is new? But I have been hearing and seeing things from Christmas carols, and so far they have led me to believe that it has something to do with this giant nativity scene right here. Wilcox, you are crazy. In fact, you are a straight-up weirdo. But a certain class of weirdo. Look at me, I'm Danny Wilcox, and I like digging for gold, a voice said from afar. It was a friend of ours. Well, if it isn't Harmonica, I said. You see, her real name is Monica, but I always made fun of her. She didn't understand that I was a treasure hunter, not a prospector. To think that some form of treasure would be in this display is a little far-fetched, don't you think? I didn't say treasure, but nevertheless, I'm going to find out. You can't go in there, that's disrespectful. Oh, come on. It'll be fun, I've always wanted to do this. Jolly, she said to herself. There were 2 doors leading into the display, one from the back and one from the side. I decided to use my inner James Bond, and if I must say, for some reason, I think he should have a partner, and sneak in the back. It must have been because the lighting had just happened, because both doors were unlocked. It also could have been the small town living. Oh, look, there goes Andy Griffith. Sorry, getting off target again. I opened up the back and quietly snuck in. I looked behind me to see my group of people waiting outside. I stepped 1 foot in, and then I looked to my left. Another foot had stepped in from the side door. Now I know that the nativity scene was touching and all, but it was a little nerve-wracking because the figures looked very lifelike. Anyway, that foot I saw was real. I looked up to see a man in a jacket and a similar satchel to mine draped across his chest. Who? What? Huh? I said in confusement. Flynn Carson, the librarian. He pointed to the manger and we both crept inside. He got down and then turned onto his back. He put his head to the manger and then took out a notepad from the satchel. He started to write down something. I got in the same position as he was and looked around the manger. Then it happened. An official from the tree lighting then saw 2 extra wise guys who were not supposed to be in the scene. See what I did there again? Hey, book boy, I whispered. We both got up. I ran out my door and this guy ran out his. We met behind the creche. Danny, what happened? And who's that? Amy asked. This is, Flint? Flint, is that what you said? Flynn. Flynn Carson, the librarian, in a slightly sarcastic voice. Looks in there. Here we go, Flynn said. Who were not supposed to be in the scene. See what I did there again?